Welcome to the Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast.
I'm Jill from New York.
And I'm Linda from Tasmania.
We are two moms from opposite sides of the world who are living, demonstrating, and helping moms across the world build their self-care asset bank.
Ready to dive in? Messy, interrupted, imperfect, and most of all mucked up. Let's get going. We're back again.
Hello.
Hello. All right. Mucka high, mucka low.
All right, let's do it. Linda, why don't you go first? What's your high and low? Your muck up and your...
I did have the kids all over me. I had 3 awake at 3 a.m. the other day. And this is while I was trying to have a nap at 8 p.m. so that I could get up at 1 a.m. so that I could fit in some time with you and all the other people on the other time zone in the other side of the planet. And even at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., I was like, oh, can I not even go? You should be sleeping. You should be sleeping. So that's definitely the low, but also sort of the high at the same time, because the fact that I can nap earlier so that I can get up later, and in fact I can work at 2 a.m. sometimes, and it works sometimes, not reliably at the moment with but yeah, it's sort of double-edged, isn't it?
It is, but it leads to a lot of other good things from working from home.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, being with the kids. What about you?
Let's see.
Tell me about your working from home day.
Oh my gosh. So this week has been ridiculous with temper tantrums, high emotions, and coming home from daycare. Yeah, 2-year-olds. 2 different days, 2 different, same toddler, 2 different everything. That 2 days apart. Like, so the low is definitely the day that was a nightmare, and I saw red for hours, and luckily had our mastermind group, which kind of like gave me something to focus on that wasn't what was making me see red.
Yeah.
The high is that today we had a really great day, and he was playing outside and getting dirty in the mud and playing by himself independently. And I got to do what I needed to do. And I was like, okay, this is what our days are supposed to be like, not this ridiculous monster child. Speaking of,
just like that.
That's
there
like
he
that.
is.
He
Hi,
knew
Declan.
talking about him.
Are your ears hot? Your ears hot?
They hurt. Did you hear mommy talking about you?
Yes.
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 You know,
Sorry.
No, close.
No, sorry.
No.
Not Gary. Not Carrie.
Yes, that's the baby's mommy.
Why?
Yep.
That's who we see all the time. Right?
The baby is behind me right there, sleeping.
She's
sleeping.
Behind Linda.
Because she also woke up at 5 a.m. when I tried to get up at 5 a.m. after being interrupted at 2 a.m. And there was 3 awake at that time too, including 5 in the bed at some stage.
So they're all sleepy today.
Oh.
Hey, do you mind kiss and good night?
Nope, they're hot.
Okay. I love you.
Mm.
I'll see you later. Come on, you're gonna go night-nights with daddy. Go ahead, daddy. Go ahead.
I'll go tuck you in. Come on.
Bye. Love you.
I'm off.
See you in the morning.
Good night.
Well, that's weird.
Prime example. live,
Living
real, raw, living proof. It's so funny. So why don't we talk about working from home
Let's do
and
it.
how much that mucks up your self-care? While at the same time it is a form of self-care for me, because I don't want to go out to a job every day, to be honest. I could if I had to, but
I
I'm
agree.
digging my heels in.
Yeah.
Like,
I think about it and I'm like, it would just be so much easier if I just went to work too. But there really is no difference other than I'm saving gas and I don't have to go drive and sit in another office.
Yep.
I can stay
I can
home.
make a coffee when I want.
I can.
I
Yeah.
don't have to shower if I really don't want to. Nobody smells me through Zoom.
All I gotta do is just, all right, how frizzy is my hair?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it down, rub my hands through it a little bit, and then okay, it's all good. Let's go back up in the pony.
Let's be honest, if I have a shower, I'm probably going to get vomited on 5 minutes later anyway. Or someone coming up with a peanut butter face and being like,
Schmear.
right across my leg. He uses me as a tissue half the time. I swear. It's like, gross. Seriously. What? This was our discussion around dinner time last night, actually. The older boys were like, Quinn's using me as a tissue again. Quinn won't get his snot. Look at how big that snot is. Quinn's I'm like, oh my God. Like, really? How was your day at school? Look at that snot. It's massive. Okay. Thank you. Next. Great. No. Yeah. How long have you been working from home?
It'll be 3 years this year.
Mm.
The second will be 3. So when he was
Yep.
born, I then started working from home.
Yep.
What
Do you
about you?
remember that life prior to that?
I loved it. I loved going to work. But how long have you been around that same amount of time?
No, so I've been doing basically on and off for 11 years now.
Okay.
And then I went back for a little while and worked in a daycare centre where my eldest was, where Josh was. I don't know if that was necessarily easier because I could then see him or hear him getting upset, or like he would want to come and see me, and I don't know if that was necessarily easier. And then sort of moved around and haven't really been back to the office for probably longer than about 8 months in that time. 11 years. Stopped working for a while, and just concentrated on rebuilding and getting over a bit of trauma stuff and whatever. But yeah, so it's very hard to imagine. I like the fairy tale of it, but the reality of it for me would be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, well, like, I don't really know if I even see like a monetary benefit from me working from home, but it works better for me taking care of myself, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think me leaving and going to a workplace actually might bring on different kind of pressures and stress, and being my own boss then is like, even while it has its own ridiculous amount of pressure and stress, I'm not like responsible for somebody else, or somebody else is responsible for me either. Like, it's kind of, I don't know, I like it now.
Yeah.
So,
and if I think about it as well, when I'm not in a mood, there's lots of little ways that I can incorporate self-care, I guess, into the day.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's through walking the dog or going out into the backyard and being able to work. And if I choose to, I can go down to a cafe and work.
Yep.
I don't have to be at home. And there are some times where I will choose to do that. I'll be like, okay, the kids are happy at home. I'm going to take myself out instead of me trying to stay here
Mm-hmm.
while having mum or dad or someone looking after them here while I'm actually still here, because then they
That
still
doesn't work.
want me. No.
I tried that over the last summer, and
Yep.
we had a babysitter, and she'd come over in the morning, and the first 2 times that she came, I was like, oh, you can just hang out here. I'll lock myself in the back room. And she had to leave both days with him. She's like, I'm just gonna take him outside. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna walk to the park. I'm like, okay. And then the next thing you know it, the following week, she's like, I'm just taking him and you can stay home and work. I'm like,
Yeah.
you can stay here. And it just has been magic having him not.
Yeah.
here.
Yep. On good days, I can also nap in the middle of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I remember at one stage, I don't know which job it was, but there'd be some days where for whatever reason, I'd actually go and nap in the car at lunchtime. But it's certainly not as comfortable as my own bed.
No. How many alarms do you need to set?
Yeah. I know. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm.
but
Do you think we're
sorry, go ahead.
you go.
But your point to taking a nap in the middle of the day is great, because we can just shift our time that we have blocked
Mhm.
during our day then around that. And so having that flexibility to put in a little bit of self-care is a huge, huge benefit to working from home. If
Yep.
you have that flexibility with work hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I realize not everybody does have that. Mm. Do you think working from home's for every mum?
I don't know, because
Mm.
I think in there was a very good possibility of me going back to work
Mm.
in the workplace and not doing this, and finances were really the major factor. So putting myself in that position and thinking like, would I be able to take a different road or not? I don't think I would have chosen to work from home as like starting my own business until I actually faced with like, well, do I go back or not? Like, I don't think I would have planned to have ever done this if I didn't get the push to figure it out.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know if I could say it is for every mom, because not everybody would take that push of that decision the same way I did.
Yeah.
Or
Not
want.
everybody might have someone that believes in them so stubbornly and strongly as a princess in a red dress that we know.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Because
Yep.
it's definitely
I
not
know.
for everyone. With like
Mhm.
some people just can't work in their own home, like they can't have that separateness, or it just isn't financially feasible
Yeah. Yep.
to go on a limb like that, and unless you're able
Mm.
to bring your current work situation to your home, then I think that would be, if that were how things were, everyone could do it then.
I just I know I've talked to my sister about this a little bit as well. And she did some work from home through pandemic and for a little while, I think when her little one was quite little, and she's like, no, I just can't do it. I don't want to. I'm not interested. It doesn't appeal to me. I need to compartmentalize my life a bit more, perhaps, than I realize or I want to admit, or that sort of thing. So it's interesting, the difference. Yeah. But also the outside perception when you do work from home. I know it sort of flips like a pendulum in a way of people thinking, oh, you're just always busy, you're never available, to the other people who are like, can't you just catch up for a coffee and you'll be right, you'll work from home, and can you just go and run this errand for me and just pick up this, and you can do this and do that, and you've got all the time. Like, isn't that why you work from home? Because so you can be flexible? So it's sort of this one extreme or the other, I think, where people are like, oh no, we can't ask anything because they're busy working from home and they're just, really busy all the time, to the other end of the scale being really different. Have you found that as well?
I don't get it anymore because I've put up the boundaries for it. And I
Yes, so have I.
doing it for myself also. Like, yeah, I think I also put that stuff on me, like, oh, I work from home, I should just be able to do this whenever I want, and I'm not doing it because I work from home and I'm so busy all the time. Like, that's just what runs
I know. It's like
all the time. So.
Why did we do that?
So I don't really get other people thinking it or like saying it to me and me feeling it from them. It's
Yep.
me. Hi. Hello, I'm the problem. It's me, right? It's at the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, what a conundrum. Yeah. That's interesting. That's all. How has working from home changed how you practice self-care, do you think?
It gives me creativity and plugging it into my day.
Mm. That's a good word for it.
Yeah. You got to be creative with it. There's so much stuff that we can consider self-care and so much stuff that we can consider routine kind of things, or I don't know, but gotta get creative. What's going to give you that boost of like, oh, that was a good self-care.
Yeah.
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 But you,
I think, like we were talking about as well, about doing the dishes compared to scrubbing the kitchen clean of all the filth and the grit and the grime. Because we live in a house, it becomes, from memory, there is a difference between being able to walk out the door at 8 a.m. and come back at 6 p.m. You get less dust, don't need to vacuum so much, don't have so many coffees. Like, just me, myself, I can be really clumsy when spilling like drips from the kitchen to my desk. I'm just like, somebody comes barging past and runs past wanting to try and catch a fly, or I don't know, like I'm generally pretty clumsy. So yep. There's, when you live in a house for the majority of the week, it's going to create more dust, dirt, effort than when you leave the house and have your lunch in the tea room at work. That's and then can put like, and then somebody chucks the dishwasher. Yeah, like the receptionist or you take it in turns to put on the dishwasher between 12 other people in the office. And at home, it's just up to you. Like, well, the kids do stack the dishwasher. Yep, as well. But I think it's just, there is something I think we need to be gentle on ourselves with and recognize there is a difference there.
It definitely is. And I don't know where I was going with that. Never mind. Do you feel like you need to carve out specific time for self-care working from home compared to
not working from home.
I think so. I think unless it's like spur of the moment, but even still, that's why it's nice to have the flexibility. So it's more so I carve out I leave more white space. How about that?
Yeah. Yep.
In the places where there's potential to have self-care time. Yeah, I think that's what I do. Unless it's something like I plan in advance. Like my outside time, I actually kind of considered me being out in the sun some self-care, even though I did poopy chores. Like I gotta pick up the dog poop. But it was kind of nice just to walk around outside in this tall grass and play with Declan trying to catch these bugs that were coming out of the grass. Like,
yep.
That'll take us some self-care. I got outside, got some vitamin D and hung out with my kid. Like so that wasn't scheduled, but I had the open white space for that time to naturally just happen. And it's only after the fact that you can kind of realize that was actually a self-care moment.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you leave white space on your calendar, Linda, for that kind of stuff?
I try to sometimes, probably not intentionally as much as I'd like to yet, because I have a bit of a love-hate with my calendar in the fact that I can schedule out the day with so much white space and then find myself getting really frustrated when I'm like, I had set aside an hour for sticky notes today and yesterday and the day before, and why can't I even commit to doing that without so many interruptions? But no, that's my own internal, external battles that I'm working through as well. I don't know that I necessarily dedicate exact time for it, but I do know that I've worked on finding things that I love or like or appreciate. So having an actual written down, I really like big towels, like a big towel to wrap yourself. I hate getting out of the shower with a tiny towel. It just wrecks my self-care completely. It's like, I really like a big fluffy towel. I really appreciate, going for a walk with the dog is another one. I like butter on hot toast. Yeah, right. But I do like, lots of those small things I've learned to appreciate and know about myself much more, I think, than I did 12 years ago, before kids even.
Yeah.
I just sort of took those things much more for granted than I do now.
You had to look at it a different way when you get to a certain point of like, okay, let's figure out what our self-care is really going to look like. And then you do a little bit of investigating on your own history and see, well, I really liked that.
Yep.
Maybe if we did that again, that would be something nice to do for myself. Simple as you said, taking your office to a coffee shop.
Yeah. And I think working from home is the ultimate self-care for me as well. It's self-preservation, it's self-regulation, it's self-motivation, it's self-satisfaction, it's many, many things. And perhaps we're a bit biased. Maybe we should have had a third wheel in this conversation who does actually go out into a job and get their point of view. So let's shelve that for another day. But while it's changed a lot of the way I do practice self-care, I still wouldn't change it for the world. Even on the lows.
Yeah. What's your favorite, if you want to call it like a work from home self-care thing? If you could even label one thing as, I do this because I work from home. Your favorite one?
Gosh, there's a few, I reckon. Definitely the ability to snack when I want to.
Started keeping snacks at my desk.
There's toast crumbs right there.
I don't have to walk far now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Patting the dog all through the day is another one. Having kids on my lap, drawing at my desk is a form of self-care in a way, because I get to enjoy them in those moments. And the flexibility is also a big part of the self-care as well. If I want to take a nap right now, I'll be able to shuffle things, and yeah, there's a few there, but I'm going to keep thinking about that question. We'll come back to it in another episode. What about for you? What's
I think
What do
being
you
able to change up my spot, because I have 3 spots in the house. I don't like to move.
Mhm. I know.
Later
I've seen them.
Yeah, when I can like hang out on the laptop and I don't have to do a whole heck of a lot of work, I'll go in my little corner in the living room with just a little bit of light music on. And then days where I got to use 2 screens, I'm spread out in the office
Mm.
with the ring light
Yeah.
that's like giving me a headache.
Yep. Mm. I also think I like winter from home much more than winter in an office.
I get my cozy blankets and my
Yeah.
slippers and no
Mhm.
shoveling. I mean, I still have to shovel, but
Yep. Yep.
I don't have to like get up at the crack of dawn to shovel myself out to leave to go to work in dangerous conditions.
Yep. So good. I reckon that mucks us up. I reckon that wraps us up. Go and let you get some sleep. The sun